Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey.
Sarah, you got people all over. Shauna Lynn is over in the group.
Oh, hi,
She
Shauna.
says, hi, Sarah. Hello, Jonah. I absolutely love you. I hope Corey comes through, and anybody that gets anything tonight is super blessed. Sarah is absolutely amazing. It's very sweet of Shauna. Thanks, Shauna. We love you. And then we also have some other people in the group, like Chelsea. Chelsea's been hanging out. She's waiting for you, Sarah.
Well, hi, Chelsea. Thank you for coming tonight.
Hey, JR. How you doing? Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
And Michelle Brown. Hi.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you for coming tonight.
And Crystal. And Andrea. And Heather.
Hello.
Hi, Alexandria.
Hello.
Hi, Kay. And Elaine.
Hi.
And Nikki. And Siobhan. Brianna. Brianna's like, oh, yeah, I caught you.
Hi, Brianna. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank everyone for coming tonight. I appreciate you all.
Samantha Caffrey over in the group is here. Hi, Samantha. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. We're going to be doing some spirit-led readings tonight. I hope you all are doing pretty good. Just going to warn you. There's an eclipse tonight. So if you're feeling a little off or a little Bukachu, I don't know what the hell you want to call it. It's the eclipse. I feel off. I feel completely insane. So if anyone is feeling a little insane, it's probably the eclipse. It actually perfects tomorrow morning at like 5 a.m. Mountain Time. So I'm glad you're doing okay, Amy. She's like, what eclipse? Brianna's like, oh shit. Right? Hey, Kimmy.
Hey.
Oh, Siobhan said last night was your night. Well, I hope it doesn't repeat again tonight, Siobhan. Like, seriously. Yeah. So, Melissa says hi from Australia. Melissa Martinovic. And Shauna, I've been so drowsy and tired this past week. It's ridiculous, she says. Yeah, that's probably the eclipse. That's probably the eclipse for you, Shauna. Hey, Shauna, did you ever figure out in that software if you gave me the wrong birthday, or did you put the wrong birthday in your chart? Because you had some weird placements or something. You must have had your birthday wrong or something. Hi, Samantha. Samantha said It's been my rest and recuperate day.
Oh, that's good.
Waiting for what the illusion to fade will be. Because Samantha listens to my astrology report, so she's like, I know that an illusion is about to fall. She's ready. She's holding on to it. She's like, here we go. As Neptune moves into Aries, illusions will deteriorate. So that should be interesting. Hi, Gina Tolls from India. Yeah. All right. And oh gosh, Michelle, I'm sorry. Michelle's gonna work in healthcare.
Deep breath, just in and out.
Oh man. Some people go kind of crazy like during the eclipse. You know, there's some belief systems where some people are like, they don't go outside, they don't look at the eclipse, nothing. So yeah, it's kind of weird. All right. Well, so I think if anyone else has any other questions, or do we have anything else we have to say other than Sarah's going to be doing spirit-led readings tonight. So that means that you should listen and see what matches for you. If anyone messages you out of nowhere, it's probably I keep seeing these messages come up and I'm like, what? And so, Shauna said it was on the app. Oh, okay. It was wrong. My birthday was wrong in the chart. They had 1978 and I was born in 77. Oh, I see. Okay, Shauna. That makes total sense. Okay. All right. So you have to, all right. So, you should be able to see my screen now, Cheryl. And what I'm going to say is if anyone else has anything they want to say, anything else that they want to ask, you can ask questions. But also I want to say that tonight, Sarah's going to do spirit-led readings. And that means it's definitely Mercury retrograde. I talk backwards. And so it's almost over. So just listen. And it's best if you say like, yes, the hair color is exactly, or yes, all the physical traits, but this didn't match, because then it will be easier for Sarah to be like, no, that's, it'll be easier for her to match you up. Okay. So, and I think that's it.
Perfect.
Well, all right, Sarah. So I'm going to leave you in here.
Okay.
Okay. And to introduce yourself and anything else.
Sounds good. Well, hello everyone. I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you here. I love seeing all your messages of support and just saying hello. I want everyone to know just how much I appreciate you. Before I get into it, I was thinking whether you want to join me or not, but let's in honor Okay, sorry. It said I was muted for a sec. In honor of the eclipse and our emotions, let's all just take a nice deep breath. If you want, I'm going to. Okay. So my name's Sarah Redcrow. I started my mediumship spiritual journey, like really started it three and a half years ago. As a child, I was able to hear spirit, but they kind of sounded more like as if I was hearing whispered conversations. But as a child, I didn't really do much about it. Up until November 26, 2021, when not only my life, but my whole family's life, especially my son, came crashing down around us. We caught COVID that November, and it was really, really devastating for those of you who have been through COVID. You just know how awful it truly is and was. Unfortunately, my son, who was 20 years old at the time, a month short of his 21st birthday, he succumbed to his COVID infection. He died from COVID pneumonia. It happened so suddenly. The day before, he was sitting up in bed and playing on his Wii U, and I remember thinking, "Oh, good, he's finally getting better." I remember that night, and for all you parents, you all have probably did this when your child was a baby. Watch them very closely while they're sleeping to make sure they're breathing. With my son, because he was born at 30 weeks, because I had preeclampsia and his lungs were slightly underdeveloped. They got better and stronger as he got older, but I did this a lot with him. And the night before, I remember opening his bedroom door because I was going to say goodnight, but I noticed he was sleeping, and I found myself standing there holding my breath and just watching very intently, and I saw his chest raise, and everything in my body wanted to go and cuddle with him, but I didn't because he was 20 and we don't do that, right? I know if I would have laid in bed with him, he'd been like, "Mom, what are you doing? Get out." And I didn't want to bother him because he was finally sleeping peacefully. The next day, my daughter, who was 18 at the time, who did everything to help her brother because I was so sick with the virus myself that I wasn't really able to be there. But she did everything. She fed him. She helped him to the washroom. She changed his sheets when they needed to be changed. And I'm sorry, everyone, if I'm going into a little bit more detail than normal. I've been quite emotional this last week or so. But anyways, I slept in and she came and she said, "Mom, you better come." And I'll never forget the look on his face as he struggled to breathe. I took him to the hospital, and about 5-10 minutes in, his heart stopped for the first time, and it would stop 4 more times after that before they got him to ICU. And in ICU, I watched as 7 nurses and the doctor each took turns performing CPR. I remember when it was done and they called his time of passing, I remember trying to push them back in. I remember going into the room after and trying to do CPR myself. Anyways, this point in my story is very important because I told my son, I said, Apaxi, that was his traditional name, which means mouse, because he was so small. I told him, "You're Inde," which means of the people. I said, "You come back to me." And I sang to him the songs that I always sang. When he was a little boy, he used to like when I traced my finger over his eyes and the bridge of his nose. It would help him sleep. And I did that. And that night, I remember sitting on my couch and my daughters were sitting at the other end. And I happened to notice his bedroom door was open. The light was off. And I was going to get up and go and close the door because he hated his bedroom door to be open. Yeah, he didn't. We had a couple cats at the time. And even though he loved the cats, he didn't really want them in his room. So I was going to get up to close the door. And all of a sudden the light turned on. And then it shut off and I said, Jonah, and it turned on again. And that was the first sign that I got from my son that he did listen to me. He did, in fact, come back to me. And I was a mess, just like how everyone who is here tonight at some point in your life, you know that feeling. And I thought, how can I say goodbye? And then I was thinking, no, I refuse to. So I started to learn how to open up and connect with spirit. I found this amazing group, Mediumship Communicating with the Dead, Grief and Loss. And I found Hollis, and I did the discovery meeting with them. And sorry, I always go forward before I tell the whole thing. So before I found the group, I attended a medium fair here where I live. And I did meet one medium, and she was lovely. But when I told her that I wanted to learn how to connect, she basically said, oh, well, you're either born with it or you're not. She's a wonderful person, but I don't believe that. We're all born with the ability. And with Hollis's help, because I remember, and Hollis, I'm sure you remember, I was a mess, crying mess, couldn't put two words together. But I asked, I want to do this. And I was waiting for the, oh, no, you can't. But instead, Hollis said, yeah, you can. Trust in yourself. Hollis gave me the tools that if you have a reading with me and you say the same thing, I will always tell you the same thing that Hollis told me, is to trust in yourself, believe in what you receive. And, even say the affirmation, like for myself, I say, Sarah, I believe in you. I believe and I trust in what you're seeing, hearing, smelling. And I couldn't be more grateful because I had that spark of hope. Someone, instead of telling me, no, you can't, but cheering me on. And then I've met so many other wonderful mediums here. Another person I always like to give a shout out is Stacy Siegel Brickley. Like Hollis, she gave me that inspiration of you can do it. I've met Mama Cole, who's been amazing. So many others that if I could try to name them all, we would be here all night and not get any readings. And I know that you guys are here for readings. So that is my story. My son, as you can see on my link, it says Sarah Redcrow -2. And the -2 is very important because no matter how many times we tried to make it just Sarah Redcrow, it wouldn't work. And then it dawned on both me and Hollis that the -2, it's not just me doing it. My son helps me. He plays a huge role. He is the one that comes and helps your loved ones find their way to me, and I just give them a voice. I always share his picture. Tonight I think I'm going to share 2 pictures. Don't mind this one. I was 15 years old, very, very tired with a new baby. So yeah, I look goth or emo or whatever. I wasn't. I was just tired. But that's me at 15, and that's Jonah. He was 4 pounds, 7 ounces. I took very good care of myself during pregnancy. It was just the preeclampsia. It's funny, as being a teen mom, as soon as people hear that he was premature, they right away think the worst. But no, it was just preeclampsia. That's all. This is the face of the boy who helps your loved one. He was about 17, I believe, in this picture. We were walking home, and that butterfly landed on him and stayed on his shoulder the whole way down the street. This is my baby that helps your loved ones. So thank you all for coming tonight. And with your permission to connect with your energies and that of your loved ones, me and Jonah will definitely get this going. And thank you, Betty. He is handsome, hey. Oh, and Brianna says, this group is seriously genuine and beautiful. I'm so thankful to have found it. You're welcome. And Shauna Lynn, I did see your message earlier. I didn't get to read it out, but thank you. Thank you for your support. Oh. Oh. And Shauna Lynn, your life is definitely worth saving, just like everyone who's here tonight. I know at times it's hard. It's hard to get up those days and move forward, but you know what? Just know that your loved one is with you. And the thing is like we all have to complete our life journey, even when it feels like you just want to lay down and not, but you're meant to complete it. Nikki, thank you. Nikki just says, thank you for sharing your gifts. Thank you, Jonah, for helping. Hi, Hollis. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry, I get incredibly dry mouth. So I have a woman stepping forward. Mind you, a lot of times in spirit, our loved ones can show up at any age that they preferred or found the most happiest times. Sometimes my son, like I said, was 20, sometimes shows up as a 7-year-old. The reason why I'm saying this is because the lady who's stepping up, you know that, what is it, 1920s or 1940s, like the swing music, like that, da 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 da. So I hear that, and the way she's presenting herself to me, she's taller. I would put her maybe 5'5". She has like it's kind of funny because she's showing herself almost like as a black and white picture, like a video. I do feel that she had like almost like a honey blonde hair, very 1950s style, and she's wearing an overcoat. I feel that she liked to wear a darker red lipstick. I do feel that when she passed, she was older. She would, the way she talks, it's like she would say, oh, like, how wonderful, like, a wonderful darling. That's what I keep hearing from her. I'm just going to ask if she can show me what her age was when she passed. She has a really great smile, too. Slim build. She shows me underneath her overcoat. It's definitely the 1950s style dress. The dress she's wearing, I want to say it's like a light blue with like little white flowers on it. Ma'am, can you show me what you look like when you passed? So as I asked her to reveal what she looked like before she passed, she's older, a little bit shorter. I would have put her maybe in her mid-90s when she passed. Her hair is, so I feel that she did used to like to get it in curlers and then like kind of get it more poofed out because it kind of like haloed around. It was a lot. It turned pure white. She's showing me that when she would get ready to go out. So she has a particular vanity mirror. It's like an oval. It reminds me of like those older ones with the wooden frame. So I'm just seeing if I can draw it so I can show. But she was just showing me her looking at herself in this like vanity, and she still has, like I suspected, like it's a deeper red lipstick. Almost reminds me of like a wine, like a dark red wine, not like the bright red. She shows me her wearing pearl necklace, and she has like the perfume bottle, but it's like the old style, like with the little like pump, like the ball pump on the side. And I see her like spritzing herself like this and kind of like airing it out. I still hear the same type of music, that so I do feel that she, even in her older years, like she stayed true to the music she liked. So she's also showing me, I see her at a piano, and I feel that she might have taught piano, because I see like a younger child sitting there and she's standing and she has, it looks like those batons, I think that's what they're called. And she's like, as the child's playing, she's like kind of going up and down. And I see her like tapping the piano, like to correct, not, she taps the piano, not the fingers. I don't know why, but she made that seem like really important, because like she was showing me as if she was going to like tap the hand, and then she puts her hand, she shakes her finger at me. I'm just going to describe the living room, how I see it, because I do feel she taught the piano at home. So her living room, it's kind of odd. It's like, it seems spacious but narrow at the same time. The piano that she played at, it, I feel it was like a, either a baby grand piano. It was really nicely polished, almost like a chestnut, that reddish brown tinge to it. I'm seeing like wallpaper. The wallpaper is more like a navy blue with gold designs on it. When she's letting me smell, and it almost smells like, it's like not like a dusty smell, but almost reminds me of almost like an old library, but with like floral hints to it. Would anybody be able to recognize her? In her older age, she was showing me, like I described her hair, it was all white. She was wearing JR, how did she pass? I could ask her. Sometimes Spirit will let me know, but I'll just quickly describe. So, as I said, the white hair, she still liked to wear the red lipstick. She was showing me her wearing pearls, and I do see her have like glasses. They're over, like they're a little bit bigger framed, and the sides are gold, so gold framed. And then she had them kind of on like one of those chains that you could just take them, and so they'll like sit when you're not wearing them. I was going to ask if she would show me or tell me how she may have passed. So as I was asking her, I started feeling tightness in my chest, and almost like when I try to swallow, like down in here, it feels like heartburn, but so I'm not too sure if she had issues with her throat that might have caused issues with her chest, because I don't feel it was like a heart. It was more like to breathe in. She was showing me that she did eventually at some point have to have the oxygen tank with the mask. So she was showing me I just feel that it had something to do with her throat and her, I want to say her lungs. I don't feel it was heart. Would anybody be able to recognize her or take her method of passing? Okay, so Shauna Lynn says, this is going to sound crazy, but she sounds like my old babysitter, which ended badly because her husband abused me. She watched me from when I was in kindergarten to third grade. Okay, Shauna, okay. So Stephanie also says, I can't confirm much evidence, especially her younger. I did take a piano with an older woman in her living room 20 years ago. Okay, since Stephanie says, can't remember it as well as you described. Okay, so Stephanie and Shauna Lynn, what exactly can you take, like, besides the piano? Would you be able to recognize how I described how she looked? Oh, sorry. When she was showing me the passing, I can't seem to get that feeling out of my throat. I'll just do a quick recap. So I do feel that when she passed, she was in her later 90s. When she was showing me her at the piano, she did look a little bit younger. I would maybe put her about 70 or so. Sorry. She had like fluffy white hair, but I really feel that she either got her hair permed or maybe did the rollers and just like kind of poofed it out. She liked to wear red lipstick, but it wasn't the bright red, it was more like the dark red. I do feel that she did teach piano. She wore gold frame glasses that she would keep them on like a chain. So Shauna Lynn, she had a lot of collector Barbies in her living room. Okay. So I wasn't made aware of any Barbies. Shauna Lynn, she definitely had breathing issues and she was heavier set. So this lady, like how she's showing me, she wasn't really like overweight. Like she was showing me, she was still able to like kind of move around. I do feel that she might have smoked, because the more she was like focusing in, I could start smelling like cigarette smoke, and it's like, yeah, I really felt almost like a burning sensation here, like in my throat here, and then just like a tightness in my chest. So JR says, sounds like my grandma except for the piano. Okay. But she loved music. JR, would you understand that? Like, did she like to listen kind of to that? I don't even know what the era, if it would have been like 1950s or 40s, but it's like I keep on hearing that ba da 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 ba ba ba. And I do feel that her living room, like, it almost reminded me kind of like antique, like, not cluttered. I felt that everything had a place. Like, she had collectibles, I feel, but it was like not chaotic. It wasn't like I feel that everything was neatly set. She is showing me, so I do feel that she was like set in her ways too, because she's showing me you know those old vacuums with like the vacuum bags of, I think it was like the Hoover or whatever it was, but the bag itself, it had like the cloth outer bag, and it's kind of like a maroon color. So Stephanie Frontero, chain glasses. Okay, Stephanie, what else could you take besides the glasses? Stephanie, I only knew her older. I was in third and fourth grade. Okay. So I'm just going to see. And Stephanie says, I believe her hair was white. Okay, Stephanie, would you be able to take, because I do feel that, because she keeps on like showing me her lipstick. Did she wear like a darker red lipstick, like not bright red, but I'm just trying to look around to see if I have something. It's almost like a maroon red. So Brianna Osborne, this kind of sounds like my husband's great grandma Snooky. Oh. She loved the 50s swing type music, loved red. Her favorite color is red, carnations, always did her hair in curlers, got perms. She had asthma. She almost died, and my husband saved her when he was 5, but she ended up passing in her sleep at like 85. Okay, Brianna, you know, I do feel, because as I was reading it, is like, all of a sudden she starts like snapping her fingers and like kind of doing the jazz hands. Would you understand that? I just, as soon as I started reading yours, she seemed to get like a little bit more excited. And would you understand? So I know that like even when we have asthma, oh, that's okay. Like I said earlier on, sometimes when our loved ones come through, they will show at an age that they felt more comfortable, and it just made sense, like how she showed me in the 50s and that, and just I kept on hearing that music. I do feel that she was fun loving. And so as I was saying, I know that with asthma, would you understand, did she smoke at some point, or did she have someone who was living with her? Because I kept on smelling like hints of cigarette smoke as well. So Brianna says she was definitely into the music and was so spunky but stern. Okay, so I wonder, because I did kind of get like, I got this feeling from her that she could be fun, especially after when I connected to you. I'm just going to ask her if she has any messages or if she would like to share anything else. So would you understand, was your husband and I was, before I even saw what you said, I was going to ask if your husband was like her baby. Was his hair lighter when he was younger? So Brianna says, my husband was her baby, and my husband also loves that music. When he was younger, what I'm getting from her is that like him and her would kind of have like their own little moments of like listening to music and kind of like dancing together. So Brianna says they didn't smoke, but her husband might have early years. He died from cancer. Okay. I wonder if in that kind of like where I was picking up, but I did feel like that feeling like when your chest is like just ugh. But would you be able to take what she was showing me? So she was showing me her and a little boy, and they were just kind of like, I keep hearing that music, and like her dancing. And would you understand, like, sorry, like her kind of like when she danced, kind of like waved her hands a bit, and as she shows me her like shuffling her feet. And did your husband call her like Nan or Nana? So Brianna says, lighter brown, very skinny. She was his saving grace, as my husband's mom wasn't a very good mom. Aw. She just wants you to know, and for him to know, that she is so proud of him and the man he's turned out to be. She says that he's a good man, a good husband for you, but she says that you make it easy for him to be a good husband. She was just saying that so does your husband have like a record player, like with the old round records that he could like I don't even know why I can't think of the name of it, but does he often, like, I know you said earlier that he plays the same music that she did, but so she's showing me, does he have like his own study or office? Oh, so Brianna says she was his only joy during his childhood. She wants him to know that he was her joy. I know that she had other grandchildren, but he held a special place in her heart. It was like where others seen her stern, he got to see the fun side of her. So Brianna says she always said he is her baby. So Brianna says, especially for a great grandma, she was his closest bond besides me. Oh, that's sweet. She does want to thank you for being there for him, because were you two together when she passed? The reason I asked, it was like she's making me feel that I felt either you guys were a couple and you got to meet her, or you helped him. Okay, so Brianna says he doesn't, but he loves the old music. Okay. What she's saying, that you guys, like, you would just make it easier for him to come to you and talk about like his feelings. Would you understand, like, for him, he's a little bit, it takes some coaxing to get like what on his mind or in his heart out, is what I'm being made to feel. So Brianna says she would tell all the grandkids even. She says, Brianna says, yes, we were since I was 14. I loved her. She says, she just wants to confirm. She goes, well, she says, I loved her too. I still do. She just wants you to know, and for him to know, that, you know, she is safe. She's showing me where I was feeling that tightness in my chest. She takes a deep breath and she goes like that. And she's like, would you understand her saying something like, I hear it's like, I'm fit like a fiddle. It's cute. She kind of does this like little like jump, and she like kicks her heels together. So Brianna says he is very closed. Okay. He's very close, but you're the second one besides her that can get him to take it, like, say what's on his mind. She just wants you to know that, you know, she thanks you for always being there for him, for loving him and understanding him. So Brianna says, I still have her Pyrex collection and still make him peanut butter cookies. Oh, that's so sweet. So her message to both of you is just she wants you guys to know that, you know, she's all right. She's still very much around you. She says that it takes a special person to like really appreciate the music, because she says, you know, there's a lot of people who either love that music, but then there's other people who love the music, but for all the wrong reasons. So Brianna says he was so worried she was in pain, but she passed in her sleep. Oh, she says, no, she goes, no, I wasn't in pain. She goes, she was just saying, she closed her eyes and when she opened, she goes, I was here. But she does want you to know that she is very much around you. She says, I check in from time to time. So would you or your husband understand? She was showing me, it was kind of funny. So it kind of, you remember the scene from Snow White where she's walking through the forest and she's like, she says that little bit of singing, and then I see like the different type of birds and like squirrels and that just kind of coming in awe. So I'm not too sure if maybe she's trying to like say that that's kind of like her signs for either of you, that like, have you noticed not only just birds, but you'll see like squirrels, or it seems like more wildlife animals are attracted to you? Or I could be totally off. She was just showing me kind of like that Snow White scene. Oh, so Brianna says, I always tease him for listening to it. Oh, so Brianna says he has cancer in 2018 to 2021, so he has needed this. So I just want you to know that she is saying that she is his strength, that for every time he was through a treatment, she was standing by his side. Oh, so Brianna says, yes, I'm a singer and animal lover. We have birds fly at us. Well, you know, trust in yourself and believe in the signs. The best way to know that it is from our loved ones is when something out of the ordinary pops up, or it could be the ordinary and all of a sudden they're just like in your mind front and center. That I find is how our loved ones say, yeah, that's me, I'm here. So Brianna says she was his only close person ever. Thank you. You're so welcome. And I just want to thank you for being here tonight, sending you and your husband my love to wrap around you, is my strength to hold you tight, and my healing light to guide you. And just know that his grandmother, his great grandmother, is there with you both, and she loves you both endlessly. And thank you for being here tonight. Oh. I just want to say thank you again to my son Jonah and to your lovely great grandmother for coming in. So I do have Brianna says, I always laugh and tell her to quit causing ruckus. Oh, that's cute. So I do have another gentleman stepping forward. I do feel that his hair was a little bit darker in life, like that I'm not too sure if he was trying to dye the kind of like the in chunks or tips of it, but it looks like kind of blonde, but more on like the orangey, yellowy side. His hair is a little bit longer, kind of shaggy. I would put him maybe about 5'8", 5'9" in height. His face is more slender. His eyes are a little bit more set back. His face is, his cheekbones, like you really see his cheekbones. He's showing me he has really nice blue eyes. And he has this habit of, like, when he smiles, he kind of looks down and smiles on the side, and you would really see like the little wrinkles on the side of his eyes. He's wearing blue jeans and a red plaid jacket, and there's like a hood on the jacket, but the hood is black. It almost reminds me of like a hoodie type material. When I look down, I see his shoes. They look like those older work boots, like almost the lighter tan color. Oh, Brianna just says, thank you so much, Sarah. I can't wait to show my husband. You're amazing. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Brianna. It means so much to me. This gentleman, I feel like he was always on the go. From what he's making me feel, it's like he had like big ideas, big dreams. I'm just gonna flat out say it. He kind of has that like always chasing the easy dollar. So like he would see an opportunity in everything. He's showing me him like really tinkering around with like vehicles. From what I get from him is like he was very crafty. He knew how to fix things or take them apart. He's kind of smiling. He's like, he's laughing. He's like, whatever. He goes, whatever is needed at the time. When he smiles, this tooth right here, so that tooth is missing. His skin, so it's kind of like, it looks like if he stayed a lot of times outside. So Kimmy says, was he 20? So and Sienna Ray Honeycutt says, how old was he when he passed? So this gentleman, I do feel that he might have been maybe in his 30s. It's hard to tell his age because he kind of has that face where he looks young but looks old at the same time. So Christina McQuaig says, this sounds like my dad. His hair was brown when he was younger. Okay, and would you be able to take did he kind of go through a stage where he might have tried like the blonde tips or something, but I feel that he did it on his own? And Christina says he was missing his front tooth, just kind of like on the side, like not dead center front, but on the side. And would you understand his height? I would put him at maybe 5'8", 5'9"-ish. It's funny because as I said that, he like stands up straighter, and he was slight build, skinny. When he shows me his hands, like, so I see like a lot of callus on his hands, like he had working man hands. And just this like energy about him where he reminds me as like if he had like one too many like Red Bulls or like coffee, like he was just always on the go and a fast talker. Would you understand that? So Amy Freeman, did he play guitar? I could ask him. Amy, what else can you take? So Joe Jennifer, this sounds like my ex Dave. He passed missing tooth, 5, 8, and 9. He wished a lot. Okay. So I'm just going to do a quick recap of this gentleman. So, Christina says, never tips, but when he went gray, he tried to dye it, but turned kind of brown. Yes, on the height. Okay, so it was like, would you understand it? So it was kind of like that brownish, but almost like, you know, when you dye your hair and it's like darker and then you try to go blonde and it kind of has that orangey tinge to it with if you don't use toner. So Christina says he always worked on things, cars, and was a welder. And what about his eyes? Would you be able to take, so he has like nice blue eyes is what I feel from him. And when he smiled, it was like, sorry, Red. Christina says, sorry, Red. Were you, no, I didn't say about a guitar. So Sienna, oh, sorry, the thing's going. So Christina says he always worked on things, cars, and was a welder. Okay. Would you understand, like when he smiled, like the corner of his eyes would like they'd kind of crinkle, like you would really see the smile lines, is what I'm trying to say. And Christina says, big blue. Were you a daddy's girl, especially when you were little? Like, I do feel that he was always on the go, or, but he was just showing me him sitting, and I see him like pick up this little girl and put her on his lap. So Amy says the hands, the blue eyes, the brown hair, but he bleached it one time and it turned orange reddish. He worked in construction. Okay, so I'm just going to describe this memory he's showing me. Oh, red on the hair after dyeing it. So I'll just describe the little girl that he's showing me, and then I feel that that is kind of, I guess, the big point. So Amy, and he was darker complexion. So this gentleman, I do feel that his skin, like it reminds me as if he spent outside a lot. I don't think he was naturally darker. It just reminds me if he was like continuously tanned, but I get this feeling that it was because he was like outside a lot. So when he was showing me him picking up this little girl and putting her on his lap, I would place her to be about maybe like 6 or 7. I see her hair in pigtails, and her hair is like a lighter brownish, and she has bangs. She is slender. I see her wearing like white shorts. They kind of came to just above her knee, and her t-shirt. You know that the old Care Bears. So I see like what is it, Sunshine Bear on the front. So Amy says, and he was darker complexion. And Kimmy says, I had a nephew who passed just before he was 30. He had big blue eyes. He had 2 young daughters he left behind. Joe said he did tinker on things, fix things, corner crinkle. He had a nice smile. He used to put his nieces on his lap, brown hair. So I do feel that this was his daughter. And he's nodding his head. And I know Kimmy said that he was Aboriginal descent. Kimmy says his daughter's name was Bella. Would you be able to take the description of the little girl? Because I do feel that the memory he was showing me, just by the way her clothing is, I would have put it maybe like 90s, late 80s. So Christina, I love Care Bears, brown hair, but never pigtails. And Christina, so I do feel more drawn to you. Was your dad a smoker? I feel that like for him it was more like on and off because he was like showing me as I noticed like I got this hint of cigarette smoke, but I also noticed his fingers, sorry. Like here and here they kind of had that tobacco stain. I do feel he was a really good-natured guy, very smart. So Christina says I was born in 83. So I was 85, so probably like later 80s, early 90s, you would have probably been around that age, hey? So yes, smoker. So he's smiling and like he's a handsome man, but like where he just had so much time in the sun, like his face kind of has like those like sun wrinkles, right? So Kimmy says my nephew passed in 2018, born 88. Oh, Kimmy, I'm so sorry. I do feel that I am with Christina at this moment. So he's also showing me you two were like two peas in a pod is what he's making me, where he was, you were. Would you understand? So he's also telling me how he would try to teach you, like if he was working on something, whether it had been like a car, or he's also showing me a lawnmower for some reason. But if you were there, he'd be like, hey, come here, look at this. And like explain like how things work, basically. Would you understand that? So Christina says, yes, always outside and the welding. Okay, so it kind of like he's a handsome man, but it took a toll on his skin care, is basically. He wants you to know that he goes, would you understand him saying, yes, baby, I hear you? He's saying, did you call him daddy, especially when you were little? And then it kind of went from daddy, dad, is what he's referring himself as daddy. He says, yes, daddy hears you. He's showing me, so the feeling that I'm getting from him is like, even though he was always busy and like working, that he was also a very hands-on father. Like if you weren't feeling good, he would take the time. So he was showing me, it looks like you're laying in like a little kid's bed and I think you're sick or something, because he shows me him putting a cool cloth on your forehead and I see him like with a bowl. I want to say chicken soup because that's what it smells like to me. So Christina says, yes, I was right under him and he taught me so much. He's saying that you're his smart girl. Would you understand him saying she's my smart girl? Would you understand him also kind of bragging like to his friends and that about like how you picked up on like learning things, not just from what he taught you, but like at school, or like I keep on hearing him saying she's a quick learner. So he was just showing me, did your dad also have like a gold ring? Like it looks just like a plain gold band. I see him like wearing it, but then he's also showing me it looks like it's on like a necklace chain. So the message that he wants you to know is that he hears you always. He says that you need to trust your gut. So Christina says, yes, he always told me how proud he was. No ring or necklace. Okay. He is saying to you though, to always trust in yourself, that you know what's best for you. He says that he never had to worry about you, in the sense of you're so strong-willed and weren't afraid to let people know exactly what you're thinking. But he says, don't forget that. He says, don't let other people walk on you. He says that, know that daddy is always with you. He says that he's going to be there for all the milestones. He says, baby girl, he goes, you have so much life to live. He says, no, your old man's going to be there. That's how he refers to himself. I'm not too sure. Like, so a lot of times when spirit wants me to know that they're still walking with you through your milestones. So he was showing me like a wedding, and then he was showing me babies. It wasn't any specific, but I feel that that's his way of indicating that, you know, no matter where you are in life, he'll be there. He's just showing me him taking your hand in his. So Christina says, he always told me not to take anything from anybody and don't trust anyone. Those are, you know, he reminds me a lot of my dad. He was just saying, he goes, okay. He said, maybe, he says, you can trust people. He goes, but just be careful. So Christina says, yes, he always told me how proud he was. No ring or necklace. Okay. So I just want you to know, Christina, that he is definitely still with you day in, day out, is what he's saying. He says you'll always be daddy's little girl, and that he'll be there to greet you when you're, how he says it, he says, when your life is fulfilled. And then he shows me him at the age he's presenting himself to me. And then I see this little old lady, which I do feel represents you. So he just wants you to know that he loves you very much and that he will be there. He says, through thick and thin. I just want to thank you for coming here tonight. And I want to thank him for making himself known. So thank you both. And so I do have another gentleman stepping forward. He's older. I would put him maybe in his 70s to 80s. He still has a thick head of hair. It kind of reminds me, you know, that style, like that old, like Elvis style, where it's like kind of like poofed back, kept short. Christina says, thank you so much. You're so welcome, Christina. So this gentleman who's stepping forward, I would put him about like maybe, I would say about 5'12", 6 foot at the most. His hair is gray. There's still some little streaks of darker hair. He has really nice cheekbones, nice jawline, strong chin. I do feel that he did like Elvis, like he was a fan, because like not only the hairstyle, but when he was like kind of showing me himself, he's wearing like a gray suit with a white shirt and a darker gray tie, but he goes like this, and then he goes, thank you, and kind of does that like Elvis lip curl. So he has also blue eyes. Um, I do feel that in life, I just, I don't know if he was with the church or he might have been a preacher because he shows me him holding a Bible. Um, it's not, it's not like one of those big Bibles as like with the black leather cover. He's showing me, so how I'm seeing it, it's like as if you're standing at the entry of a church, and then I see the runner, and it's like well, I'm sure when it first was put down, it was a nice red color, but over time, you know how it gets kind of dingy, and I keep seeing all the pews. But as he's standing at the front door, like he's greeting people, I do feel for him, he had a good sense of humor. He could be, uh, he could come off as stern at times, but also have this sense about him that you could literally sit there and talk to him until you were blue in the face and his ear was ready to fall off. So Andrea 54 Hector says, yes, I can take that. Okay, Andrea, what can you take? So I'll just do a quick little recap. So he's an older gentleman. I would put him like around his 70s-ish, 70s, 80s at most. Taller, I'd put him between 5'12" or 6 feet. He still had his full head of hair. He kind of liked to style it in like that, almost like Elvis, young Elvis, not the old Elvis. And I do feel that he was. So Andrea says, yes, my uncle Isaac. Okay, did your uncle either work in the church or he went to church a lot? I do feel that like he just keeps on bringing me back to this church. I can't really see the outside of it, but like inside I see all the different like pews, benches, I guess, and then at the front it's like a wooden stand where I guess where the preacher would talk, and I see like a big stained glass window in the back. He's showing me him wearing like a gray suit and a white shirt and tie, and he was showing me him holding a Bible, and it was like he was standing at the entrance of this church and like either greeting people, but I can't figure out if he was the actual minister or preacher. So, okay, so Andrea said the hairstyle plus the going to church. He was a preacher at a New Life Christian church. Okay, so would you be able to understand? Did he like Elvis? I don't know. I don't know why I'm so hooked on the Elvis thing, but he was very easygoing. Like, so he was showing me him sitting in a chair, and I can't see the person sitting in front, but he's like literally like really listening to this. He had a knack for really listening to people. It's like for him, there was no judgment on his part, and he was just saying to me it wasn't up to him to judge, that it was up to like his belief, like God, for God to judge. So, oh, sorry. Andrew said the hairstyle, yes, but more like James Dean. Okay, so yeah, I didn't know how to explain it, but that kind of like where it was like back with that little like up. He was a handsome man, but I am also feeling like for him, it's like So he's being kind of funny. He goes, um, so he was saying because I do feel more drawn to you, Andrea. Andrea, did he, when he pronounced your name, was it more like Andrea? So Andrea says, cuffed up pants and slicked his hair back with Vaseline. Okay. He liked to be put together, but he just had this sense about him where I feel like this welcomingness, but he also knew how to stand, like stand his guard. So Andrea says, I was his favorite niece. Aw. Okay, so that's funny that because I don't normally often hear names correctly. That's why I wasn't too sure. But Andrea says, oh my God, yes, he called me Andrea. Oh, that's cute. So he was just sharing how much love he is putting towards you, and he was showing me. So he was pulling like a little white napkin from his like dress or his jacket, the lapel. I don't know what it's called, but it's like he was like wiping his eyes as like, would you understand when he would get like overly happy or something, it was like he couldn't help but have like a little bit of tears in his eyes. Not sad tears, but like just happy. I feel that he was very in tune with his emotions, that he wasn't afraid to laugh when he found something funny or cry when he needed to, but he was very strong as well. Like I feel that he was a very like a pillar not only for his family but in his community. And Andrea says yes, he dressed like in the 60s. um, he was a confident man. He was just saying that for you to, find that confidence in yourself and to always stay true to you. He was showing me, I'm not too sure if you're very religious yourself, but he was showing me for his Bible and how he's saying it. It's like for him, he got his strength from the Bible, but he's saying that for each individual, you have to find your own strength. So whether that be if you're religious, your own Bible, he's saying, take comfort in that. Or if it, I don't know, it could be anything like going on a walk and being more with nature, whatever gives you that solace and peace, to always follow that. He just wants you to know that he hears you. Does your family like to do like family get-togethers? I'm feeling I keep on like getting more drawn toward like summertime, like I want to say almost like family reunion type things. I feel that from what he's letting me know, it was like kind of bigger, especially when he was alive. But over time, it kind of started, people would be like, oh, I'm too busy to do that. Or, maybe next year. And he was just saying that, we aren't always promised tomorrow, let alone next year. That, to find time to be with family, or he says it doesn't even have to be family by blood, but the ones you love. He says, don't take that for granted because you're never promised tomorrow. So Andrea says, yes, when my grandma was alive, he was her brother. Oh, I do feel that both him and her were like the pillars of your guys' family. You know, your grandmother, was she shorter, older lady? Her hair was more gray than white. Very nice smile. Where he was tall, she would like maybe come up to his shoulder. Soft spoken lady. Would you be able to take that? Would often wear like dresses, but like hers weren't like the big showy fancy. They were like, I do have another older lady stepping next to him. So Andrea says she was the oldest of the girls and he was the oldest of the boys. Okay, so they were like two heads. Okay, like the leaders of the pack, basically. So she is stepping up with your grandfather. She was showing me. So her dress is very simple. It's like not even a scoop neck, but kind of more like straight across. She's showing me it's like a navy color. She has like more sensible black leather shoes on. With her, would you understand her showing me? It almost looks like I want to say like a pearl bracelet, but not quite pearl. I'm just I see this like little delicate bracelet and it looks like round beads on it. And for her, would you understand, did she know her way around like herbs and like not just like the basic vegetable gardens, but I get from her that she was like a healer, almost like she knew how to make like home medicine. Like she basically, if you were to put her out in the woods, she would be able to survive, or just by her knowledge of what was safe to use in like nature. Would you understand that? So Andrea says yes. And sorry, I just wanted to ask Andrea, was that towards like what I said about your grandmother? Um, so the message from her is that she just wants you to know that so she it was I get like that she was soft spoken, but she had a different tone of soft spokenness. Like there was the type for like when she was just talking in general, but when she was upset or angry, her soft spoken it was like a different tone that almost made you kind of like lean in to listen. And like her message, like when she was telling you to like smarten up, it she just had to use that tone. So Andrea said, yes, both of my grandmas very spiritual. So from her message to you is to follow your heart. She says, learn the herbs, learn nature. She goes, because sometimes you can't always like, sorry, I'm having a hard time like finding the words for it. She says, you can't always depend on modern day stuff. So she says, yes, you can go to the doctor and everything, but sometimes, you can fix it with a quick home remedy. She was showing me, did she have like a book or something that she would write stuff down, like different herbs? Like, so she was showing me like, I see different drawings of different plants. So Andrea says, yes, she was soft spoken and never yelled, but when she got mad at you, you would know. That's what I was getting. That's the feeling I was getting, that she didn't have to yell to get her point across. And honestly, it was more effective than, say, the person yelling and turning red in the face. So your grandmother is just saying, stay true to yourself. and don't let family traditions go. So I'm not too sure, because she was showing me a book and I saw like it looked like sketches that she may have done of different like types of plants and herbs. And I'm not too sure if she had one of those because she was just showing me that, or maybe if you have one. But um, she says always commune with nature because there's so much you can learn from it. I just want to thank your uncle and her for coming here tonight. And thank you, Andrea, for being with us tonight. I'm just going to see if I have anyone else who would like to say.
All right. Well, good job, Sarah.
Thank you.
I think you did a great job. I think you did an awesome job. And hold on, I'm trying to take this thing off your face. There we go. Great job. You did an awesome job. You really look. Kimmy is cheering you on, and Melissa. It is a beautiful set of readings. Just really gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate
you did a great job.
Thank you.
And look at this. Andrea said you tapped into both my grandmas.
Oh, that's beautiful. It just took your uncle to step forward first.
Hey, you never know how they're going to step through, right? And Kimmy's like, this is unbelievable. Annie's saying it's a good job. Andrea said, thank you. I appreciate all you do for us. And thank you so much. You're a beautiful soul. I agree. Sarah's an amazing medium. And you can always book with Sarah at her website at Sarah at Psychic Insights. And isn't it great to know that Psychic Insights is a safe place for all of us, right? And that you don't have to worry about getting scammed, because here's Sarah right here. She just showed you that she does full readings. And when you book with her for an hour, you're going to get her for an hour, and she's going to record it, and then she's going to send it to you. Okay? And that's how it works around Psychic Insights. And we guarantee that the reading works out in a good way for you. And if for some reason it doesn't, you just let me know or let the reader know, and we'll just give you your money back. It's just that simple.
Exactly.
Okay? It's no big to us. So, we just want you to know that you're safe with us. And I think that's worth a lot these days. And actually, these days, I don't know about you guys, but there are scammers everywhere. Okay? So if somebody messages you, someone friends you as Psychic Insights, I'm a page. I can't friend you. So that's a copycat. Same thing. They'll copycat Sarah. They'll copy me, Hollis Taylor. Just don't. We will never message you first. Ever. Okay? Exactly. Me and Sarah spend all kinds of time kicking people out of the group all the time.
Yep. And if I'm unsure, I come to Hollis and I'm like, hey, do you know this person?
Oh, man. And I'm like, oh, man, is this another scammer? Okay. And so we're always trying to work to keep the scammers out of the group. It's really hard to do on Facebook. And, so just so you know, we're working our best, and you will never be asked to send money on PayPal. You will always be asked to go to psychicinsights.life, which is where you will book with whoever you want to book with for however long you want at whatever time. All of that happens on the website, not in a chat. So if you're doing it in a chat, I'd be careful, because now you might be getting scammed. Okay? That we will never do that. All right, my friends, we are here, and now is a great time to say, if you got a reading tonight, it'd be really great if you wrote a review for Sarah.
Yes, yeah. I love them, and I appreciate them so very much. Well, I thank you ahead of time.
Yeah. It's great for, in case you didn't know, mediums are human beings. And we sometimes question ourselves. We're like, did I do a good job? Did I make that up? It's just normal, I think, to some degree. We have to trust ourselves. That's like the hardest thing I think a medium does, is to trust what they're seeing, sensing, feeling, hearing. And then for you, when you come back to us and say, it was spot on, it was absolutely perfect, you said all the things, that's so valuable to us. I think that's the most valuable thing you can give is feedback. Okay?
Exactly.
So my friends, I hope you have a beautiful eclipse. Sarah, there's going to be an eclipse tonight. Are you ready?
Uh, I hope so.
Okay.
I I could
It's going to be an Aries Libra.
see, what am I? I'm Gemini with Libra rising.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It could honestly, I feel it because I have, mind you, I still get very emotional over my son, but this last week has been hard to function. And I feel comfortable saying that. And I feel good about saying it here because it just lets everyone know that just because I'm a medium doesn't mean I don't hurt.
Yeah, guess what? You have feelings and that you're a real person. And I think that is something that we want you to remember about us. And if you're ever booking with or you're ever dealing with me or anyone else in Psychic Insights, you can know that each and every one of us is a human being. And we're just bringing through these messages. We're not special. We're not like God's right hand man or something. That's not what's happening. We're just listening. I was just listening to a woman tonight talk about how mediumship works. And I do think it's kind of like a radio frequency in a way, but we hear it right away. So as soon as the spirit says, yeah, then we hear, yeah. It's just immediate. It's like telepathy. And so, while it might seem magical and amazing to you, I also want to let you know that all of you are capable of connecting to the other side. There are a couple of us that help with mediumship and that show mediumship, and that is available. I do coaching for that. And, you can always just listen to Sarah's story or anyone else's story, and immediately you'll realize that it really is anyone can do it.
Exactly.
It really is.
Honestly, like I said in the beginning, if it wasn't for you, Hollis, like, I don't know if you remember that first meeting. I could barely put two words together. And I remember I got brave and said, hey, I'm trying to. And you told me, yeah, you can. And I appreciate that so very much.
I remember you in the lives, in the things I would do just like this. I remember being able to feel your pain physically. And that tells me that there's just some sort of connection or something. It tells me that I'm supposed to help that person if I can feel it physically. If I can feel it really intensely. So I would just say that I didn't tell you anything that I wouldn't have told anyone else.
I know.
You just listened, and that was the difference. Not everybody listens to me. People come to me for advice all the time, and I give it to them, and they don't listen. But the difference is that you listened, and I said, "Do yoga." You did it. Some people don't follow through. You did it anyway. And then you came back to me months later. I didn't expect you to be doing yoga. You were like, "So I was doing yoga," and I'm like, "You're doing what?" Well, you said to do yoga, so I was doing it. And I'm like, oh. So this is what I mean. Okay. So there's lots of ways. You just have to listen. And that's what we're doing. We're just listening. We're just listening, not just with our ears, but with our minds and our hearts and our souls. And we just listen with our soul. And that's all a medium is doing. Okay. And if you listen with your soul, you will also be able to hear. And, Bright Hawk has a great guided meditation for those of you that are trying to work that I worked on with her. I'll put the link in the description for you guys. And so you can check out her meditation. Sorry, man, Mercury. I can never keep track of what I'm saying. You can listen to that meditation and that will help you connect to the other side. Okay, my friends? Especially if you're looking to connect to somebody you love. That's exactly what that link is. Okay? Kimmy says that she's when I lost my dad after doing in-home palliative care 24/7 till the end. Whew, that's really hard, Kimmy. I became so spiritual and pick up on things, have my decks, rings in ears. Yeah. Ringing in ears, that's kind of one of those things, huh? All right, and so you can book with Sarah. I had it up. You can book with Sarah at her website. Is there anything else you want to say, Sarah?
No, I just want to thank everyone for coming here tonight. I want to thank my son yet again for taking the time and helping. And I want to thank all of your loved ones for taking the time and coming by and saying hello. And it's always very important to show gratitude to spirit and love. I find that is another big key. And yoga, do it. It took me forever to find one. I even had to start out with the old people yoga, and I wasn't good at it.
And what you learn is it's not about being good at it.
Right.
It's about getting quiet. It's about learning to quiet your mind. That's really what yoga's about. And every yogi will tell you that. Watch a documentary about a yogi. It's about quieting your mind. And when you quiet your mind, it's easier to listen. So, anyway, my friends, I hope you have a beautiful night. You're welcome, Kimmy.
You're welcome. Thank you for stopping by.
And everybody have a beautiful night, and we appreciate all of you. Sweet dreams on this beautiful eclipse night.
Yes.
Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.